sexy.
Mr. Young and Foreign.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut.
Hey, Kick to the Gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the Gut podcast.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut.
Your podcast sucks!
Okay, let's go. Are you ready for 2.0?
I mean, do we have to be? I guess.
Well, Kick to the Gut 2.0 is still a ways away, but how's it going? Hey, it's Mr. Young.
And it's foreign in the building. How are you, bro? Have you had a good weekend?
My weekend was all right. I'll tell you this. My weekend was more interesting than what just happened on NXT War Games, okay? I spent the whole weekend watching the government's YouTube page on the hearings. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh my god, is it the special privileges committee
special,
thing?
the COP deal. I mean, that was more exciting than Money Heist Season 5 Part 2, bro.
I saw the memes, bro.
Yeah, I was expecting to watch that this whole weekend. Ended up watching these hearings like the entire weekend. Man, that's some crazy stuff. Anyway, how are you doing? How was your weekend?
I mean, like today I'm like dressed up
I
much
see that.
better than usual.
I see that. You know what you're rocking right now? You're rocking the Joe Gacy shirt, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'm all about inclusivity. No lah. I'm going out for on a date after this.
All right. I'm sure our boy Foreign today looks good, smells good. He's got the vibe going, everybody. Send him all
I don't know whether I
vibes.
smell good lah. I mean, I gotta get someone to double check on that. But sure.
Bro, you gotta make sure you smell good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, did we do our intro? Sometimes when we go into ramblings, sometimes we forget, you know.
Yeah, we did. I mean, if we, didn't, you guys know who we are already, right? These voices, these faces, you're so used to us, right?
Of course. It's foreign in the building. I just had to get it out of the way.
All right. There you go. Let's talk about what we are here to talk about today. So today we are looking at NXT's War Games. Let me say hello to Jin Long, also to Jason from Brunei. What's up? Oh, Jason sets the tone right away by saying, no wonder Regal didn't announce War Games, because, this was weak sauce.
Yeah, man. I mean, our Instagram was blowing up, and I think Jason, shout out to you, man. Thanks for DMing straight away, telling us about all your reactions. We want to save it for the podcast, so here we are. I guess we're gonna dive right into it, right?
Tovakin, what's up? The Sachok boys, that's right. We are here for some War Games. Irvin, as everyone is, starting to pile in, do us a favor. On your way in, hit that like button on that YouTube page, okay? We appreciate that. That helps us out greatly. And of course, if you miss anything and all, you can always listen to the podcast on Spotify and wherever else you get your podcast from lah. But okay, down to business. I actually enjoyed the lead up to War Games. The past few NXT shows have been fun lah, and I think a lot of it is because they are pushing this whole black and gold versus 2.0. They realize, the fans really miss black and gold. We really held on to that product, right? And they're like, you know what? That's a great story to tell. So kudos to them.
I like the fact that they're acknowledging their past. Like, it's very hard if you want to do a complete reset, and then you ask the audience to completely forget about everything that they have invested in all these years. So if they created this from the get-go, like, okay, it was like an invasion thing, or it was like they had to try to prove themselves against the originals, then maybe it was easier for us to kind of embrace this change. But it was just a hard reset, bro. It
was a little bit too obvious, what they were trying to do. And as we go through the card, you can see like, oh, okay. And I think halfway through the card, I realized, okay, I knew what the finish of the main event was already. I'll explain to you as we go along. But yeah, go ahead. You were saying.
Yeah. But right off the bat, I wanted to say that I see a lot of parallels for this pay-per-view with Survivor Series 2019 when they were pushing the original NXT. You think about it.
Oh, right. As in they were trying to push the brand onto the main, roster and all that, getting them out there lah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like it was a viable brand in 2019. So it's so weird that them is now the old school trying to usher in the new generation.
But here's the thing, right? Like NXT as a brand already had this cult following. I don't think 2.0 has a cult following. That's the thing. So you have the two black and gold cult following invading the main roster, and by that time, most of us, quote unquote, smarter fans had already decided that black and gold was the best brand out there, right? So when they finally got their shine, we are like, yes, they deserve it. 2.0 is a different story, bro. 2.0 is a bunch of greenies getting the mega push. So I think that's why that's left a lot of a sour taste in our mouths, don't you think?
You know what would have been much better? If 2.0 was actually the developmental brand of the NXT roster.
Right. And then they would slowly filter them up, sort of a deal.
Yeah, then that would have made sense. Apparently, Jason asked, is Mr. Young going to be standing up and doing the podcast the entire time? Or standing up?
Bro, I've been doing this for the past couple of weeks already. I do it for my podcast, for my Twitch streams and everything. So yeah, I rock a standing desk now. So it's going to be all standing up, all action. Because you know when you stand up, you got more energy. You got more mobile. You can move.
And you're keeping yourself much fitter. It's healthier, bro. Good for you.
Exactly, that is the point. Jin Long says NXT 2.0 is like the 2008-09 revamped ECW. In that it was shits. Yes, it is. And look where that revamped revamped ECW ended up in the trash. So
yeah, no, that's a great point because throughout all the so in ECW 2008, right? There's a lot of shit, right? But there's like one or two bright spots.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, what we can do is we can focus on the bright spots and make sure that it's not all about doom and gloom as it relates to War Games. But let's be real here. The pay-per-view, this is probably one of the worst, quote-unquote, War Games pay-per-view ever, right?
It's easily the worst.
Easily, yeah. I mean, I wanted to be nice about it. Interestingly enough, Jin Long says that the women's War Games match was worth watching. You know what? Jin Long, I think you were blinded by Cora Jade and Gigi Nolan, which I totally understand, by the way. Let's dive into it then, shall we, huh? Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray versus Dakota Kai and Toxic Attraction. My biggest surprise was the pop that Gigi Dolan got.
Yeah. I was very, very surprised that they were focusing on her a lot in terms of the crowd. The crowd reaction towards her was really, really visible and audible.
You said it best last week. You got an orange-haired Paige. I mean, it's the pack. She is she's got a very good package. Sorry, I mean she is the package. Wow. No. I mean, just visually, she pops. Certainly more than what's her tag team partner, JC Jane,
JC Jane,
and sometimes even more than Mandy Rose. To be honest, in this match itself, Mandy wasn't much of a factor at all, was she?
Yeah, Gigi Dolin has, I would say, the X factor. Yeah. When you say she pops, right, and how she reminds us of Paige. Paige, when she came in, she had that aggression.
Yeah.
It was a bit scrappy.
Bro, was it ruthless aggression?
Yeah, you can say that. There's this grittiness and scrappiness to the way she fights. And I think a lot of you know that Gigi Dolin was previously married to Darby Allin.
Yeah, she used to wrestle under the name Priscilla Kelly, right?
Correct, and she had like a cup of coffee in AEW. So you can see, right, bro? She's the first AEW to NXT.
Oh, stop!
Stop. Defector. Think about it.
Yeah. Okay. So actually, the finish of this match made a lot of sense to me. If you just look at it, because to be honest, there's nothing to talk about in this match. Remember, we've talked about previous War Games where we were like, okay, let's not involve too many weapons. They threw in every fucking weapon there is. You know why? You needed the distraction because you have a bunch of green wrestlers in there. And I wasn't surprised at how this completely played out. You know how Io Shirai usually takes the big spot? This time she didn't. She only did a moonsault off the top rope, which to her is very tame already. Right?
Yes.
So they gave the big spot to the person they want to push, one of the newer wrestlers, Cora Jade, which I'm also like, I have to admit, I have a bit of a crush on Cora Jade, right? So she and Gigi Dolan to me are the standouts in this match, and I think they designed it that way.
Yeah, like Cora Jade, like the whole match was a showcase for her.
Yep.
But if you had to highlight somebody for NXT's future, right? I think Cora Jade is doing great. Like she's supposedly the youngest girl to ever, or youngest competitor ever inside the War Games at 20 years old. That's crazy, bro. And she already has that Bailey babyface support.
I will say this, when she did that senton off the top and then they sold the shoulder, I was like, I genuinely felt worried for her. And credit to who else? Kaylee Ray. Because Kaylee Ray looked like she legit injured herself. Like she looked a bit blurred. Like I don't know if they were playing it up. This was obviously the quote unquote the plot the script, right? Because then you had that spot. Yeah. Well, I mean, the second that Io Shirai did the whole I pop your shoulder back like this is a 90s war action movie. Like this is the type of shit you see in like Die Hard, right? The what's his face? Bruce Willis gets his shoulder dislocated and he just like it back into place.
And also the way she proceeded to do the senton, it was not the best looking senton, but the fact that she was inexperienced and she did like a very kind of like unsafe looking senton make you believe that maybe her shoulder was fucked during the jump.
Do you think that she did it on purpose? She purposely did a wonky looking senton.
Yeah. I think the whole shoulder popping out, like that's supposed to be a story beat within the match.
Yep.
Felt like it.
So I mean, good acting on their part. Like I mean, they sold it well, is what I'm saying. So kudos to them. I mean, that's pretty much the positives I can think of in this match because everything else just happened. It was just a mess, right?
Yeah. No, I'm quite surprised that Raquel Gonzalez didn't come across more dominant.
She had a few moments, but nothing too spectacular or outstanding. I know what you mean.
Is it me or does she feel like the NXT's Drew McIntyre? She had all the hype last year, the way they made her seem like the face. And then now she was just like, she and Io Shirai like almost took like a night off like that.
Yeah, Io Shirai was very like in the background also. I know what you're saying. Well, the whole point is to highlight Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan and Toxic Attraction. And it showed, it was very clear. And it almost felt like the veterans were just there to put over the young kids, don't you think? This whole pay-per-view, in fact.
Yeah, it was. But then the problem is that once you realize that or you sense that pattern, everything became predictable.
Yep.
Everything became predictable.
Okay, except for one match, but I didn't care either way. But we'll get to that match later. Let me say hello to Sir Hus. How you doing? Oh, he mentions Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. Yes, with the popping the shoulder back. I see. He knows his 90s action movies, Sir Hus. Little Fettuccine, what's up? Little Fettuccine says Vince must have booked the pay-per-view. Oh, 100%. I can see it all over. Either him or Bruce Pritchard or both of them combined.
Little Fettuccine, she's someone new. I've never seen their username on our live chat.
Yeah, but
welcome, bro.
Welcome. We appreciate it. Okay, so I see like, and there was this weird moment where Kaylee Ray looked like she was going to attack Cora Jade. Did you see that?
Yeah, a bit. There was a bit of a tease.
What was that? I know Kaylee Ray is supposed to be a heel, right? But then she comes over and then she joins forces with Raquel. So are they trying to tease like, oh, maybe she was a heel all along? But then, like, to me, that made no sense because they've been quote unquote on the same team this whole time.
Yeah. No, my issue is that Mandy Rose is supposedly the NXT Women's Champion, right? But she came off like looking the second, third, fourth most interesting person in the match.
Like we said, Gigi Dolan was the one that was like, whoa, okay, she's quite over with the crowd. And then Cora Jade, and then the rest of them were they just there. So, can I say the worst War Games match ever in the NXT?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, you can't compare them to the guys from like the years ago. Like everyone killed it. Come on, Undisputed Era killed it.
Yeah.
The women's only started having a War Games. Was it last year? Was the first time? I can't remember.
Yeah, but even then, like this one. Wow. Maybe 2.0, we should just lower the bar.
I think that's the problem. Like it's like ECW in 2006. Every single time, no matter how good or like how bad it is, they will always compare it to the original, and it will never compare unless it's his own thing.
But okay, objectively then, let's take away let's pretend that we've never watched the Black and Gold brand before. Even then, this match was just a big mess. It was just a lot of things happening, a lot of gaga, a lot of glitter. And then a few bright spots, and then a finish. That's it. You know.
Yeah, and their inexperience showed definitely for the heels.
Yep.
And I think that the problem was previous matches, like everyone was technically sound and really, really good in-ring workers.
Yes.
And the whole point, that was just that's a by the way, and they were just trying to steal the show.
Yep.
But you can tell the assignment was different this time around for Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. They're not there to steal the show. They're there to put over other people. So they can't have the great kind of matches that we are used to.
Yeah, not just them. Like we mentioned, every single veteran on the card as we will move along right now. Before we do though, okay, I think let's just talk about all the vignettes. And there were a lot. Like I messaged Foreign during the pay-per-view. I was like, does it seem like there are a lot more vignettes than usual?
Bro, you know what it felt like, bro?
What?
It's like, you know, the American Idol audition tape.
Yes. Okay. It feels like Vince McMahon's like, all right, this is our first 2.0 pay-per-view. No one's watched NXT before. Let's introduce everyone to, like, what? I don't. Did it feel like that to you? Like they were trying to introduce people to you? Like, it was weird. And not only was it weird, it felt, I hate to use the word childish. Once again, it goes back. It's like Superstars in the 80s. If you've ever watched WWF Superstars, it's like, you know, one match, 3 vignettes, one match, and the vignettes were all cheesy AF.
I don't know. It's like Vince McMahon like reverting back to his 80s self or something. I do not know, man. It's like the more they try to change, like this is the complete opposite from Attitude Era. It's like all the way back to the 80s wrestling.
I mean,
I don't know, man.
Okay, look, I'm not saying vignettes are bad. I think when placed well, they can be humorous to introduce to a new character, stuff like that. But I guess, you know, on Tuesday, on Tuesday, we'll meet the shaman. That's something to look forward to.
Oh, bro, who was your most, like the most nonsensical vignette?
Okay.
I had one that I really cannot, sir.
Are you talking about the guy who actually had 2 vignettes?
Which one?
Ikiman Jiro.
Oh, I mean, okay, Ikiman Jiro, yeah, he is weird and shit, but like at least it's like over the top in a way that you can kind of like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like you can have a reaction.
Yeah.
But the one that I was like, okay, I you don't need to debut, bro. It's okay. I just pass on you.
Oh, I think I know already.
Right?
The guy sitting down drinking the
coffee.
What? Like who? Yeah. No. What? Do you even remember his name?
Draco Anthony. I remember because he had Draco. The word.
Okay.
But
Who the fuck is this guy?
you know, bro, his entire promo was okay. Everyone is trying their best to make an impact.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try to talk it. I'm just gonna show you. And then I drink coffee. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. No, like fucking give us a Dante Chen vignette or something. Like what the fuck is this guy doing? Drinking coffee? Yeah, no.
Essentially, he's trying to say that everyone's trying to stand out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bother trying to stand up. I'm just gonna drink my coffee.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be his selling point.
Like what the fuck? Yeah, no. I remember it being like outrageously bland. You know?
Yeah.
So okay, to me, what was really weird. Okay, so the Ikeman Jiro vignette, the one with the jackets, right? I actually love that. I know like some of the more serious wrestling old school guys, they are like, oh, what is this nonsense? I actually find that humorous because they've played this vignette before. It explains his whole jacket thing. Like I love, this is my favorite line, you know, when you think of Japanese wrestlers, he says it in his accent. You think of strong style, but when you think of Ikeman Jiro, you think style strong, and then like it's very Japanese ad like, and I actually love it, right?
I chuckled at that. Like it was stupid, funny.
Yes. But then they had to play a second Ikeman Jiro vignette that made no sense. The one where he orders a bunch of food, a lot of food, and then eats the food, and then has to take a giant shit. What? What? No. What does that even say about anything? Like, can somebody in chat explain to me this vignette? Like the strong style strong. I get it. He wears jacket. He's handsome. You know, like style strong. What the fuck does him ordering a shit pile of pizza and ice cream and burgers and whatnot, eating them, and then going to the toilet? Okay.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know what was your most memorable vignette. Was there any event that was really good?
No.
I think the people in chat, please share your opinion because I can't think of anything that really like, whoa, okay, this guy I want to watch. I want to see what happens with next.
The shitting one stands out the most because it made no sense. While and also the fact that he already had one vignette, why do you have to give him 2 vignettes? The first vignette was great. The second one was absolute trash. It belonged in the toilet, like where he went in the vignette. All I can imagine is Vince McMahon in the back sitting, that's funny shit. People want to hear fart noises. I
don't know who's the one behind this, bro. Bruce Pritchard, Vince McMahon, I do not know.
You know, that thing is as bad as the segment on Raw where Vince and Austin Theory sat in the back for fuck. And then surprise. What was the whole gimmick?
The entire segment was you must expect the unexpected.
Wait, is he trying to like start a new catchphrase for this era, the unexpected era, like how he did with Ruthless? And then he slapped him. Like, okay, like
no, I can see Vince McMahon finding it funny, or like unexpected, but Vince McMahon himself can't do the performing part anymore, in my opinion.
I feel like Vince McMahon now should be like a Hogan or Flair. They just show up at WrestleMania, pop, fuck off. Okay, not fuck off. I'm being very, very rude, but just just come in for the moment and leave, and not like it feels like he's like, I'm gonna get this kid over, just like what he did to Drew McIntyre. And we all remember how that worked out.
He thinks that, him sharing the screen with Austin Theory clearly shows that they have a lot of big plans for him, right?
Yeah.
That the boss wants to work with him, fine. That's fine. But the problem is, the whole point of Vignette didn't make him look good at all.
Nope.
At all.
It made both of them look dumb. And the worst, it all spawned from a golden egg. It all came from the golden egg, which was just as bad.
The egg should, like, the storyline should completely like drop off like ASAP, please.
You know what? Like, I feel bad for saying this, but I hope this angle, and actually this is where it might go. Like 1 week, Austin Theory finally is like, I've had enough with this old man, and slaps Vince.
Slap him to death?
Not to, like, like beat him down, and then the crowd might cheer or boo, whatever. At least he gets some heat, and then he can move on to something else,
I mean, that might come across as elderly abuse. So I mean, I don't know. Muhammad Daniel said something quite funny. I'd rather hear Stone Cold get hit with a bedpan on Vince's head.
Oh, that was a classic scene. Good times when Vince can actually pull this shit off, right? Jinlong is because the previous NXT talents all about to be released. So, just put the new kids over. Let's move on then to, let's just call this the best match of the night. Because these guys are all the old guy. They are all except for Von Wagner, who, as Foreign very eloquently put in his text to me, he said, hey, he's already better than Omos. To which I replied, well, that's a very low bar.
When I was watching this match, this is honestly the first time I seen Von Wagner in action. I have never bothered to see or sit through his matches. The thing that kind of like turned me off was when I saw that one promo that he did when he and Kyle O'Reilly both went hiking. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna watch this shit. Okay, bye. So
that's what I'm saying. The vignettes on NXT are all like damn childish. It almost feels insulting to our intelligence at this point, as well, okay, maybe they are aiming for younger adults. Okay, do the folk who are slightly younger in chat, okay, do you like the vignettes on NXT? Like, do you like Tony being the stereotypical like Italian, it's me shit, and do you feel this? Do you like I don't know. Oh my god, talking about vignettes. The two cowboy guys had a vignette as well.
The Briggs and Jensen or something like that, right?
Yeah. Like I cannot This is really like the fucking 80s WWF superstar style.
No, you know what's the problem? It's not the delivery and the content that one okay lah. It's the wrestlers trying to do the best they can with what they're given.
Yeah.
But what made it so childish was the way they were filmed. It
The
felt
one they cut
like
back and forth, right?
no, it's not just that. It felt like it was film school students trying to do a film project.
And they're not even in Full Sail. At least Full Sail University use Full Sail like students, right?
Yeah. But it literally felt like Singapore Film Festival and all these like LaSalle kids or NAFA kids. Like, hey, I want you to shoot a WWE promo. And it felt like that. It felt unprofessional. It still felt like, okay, I get where they were trying to go, but the execution is not done like by professionals.
Yeah.
And it was as the most clear example of this was the two cowboys that tag team the way they were shot.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I feel like they are shooting themselves in the foot because if their production and presentation is amateurish, why would we be investing? Because you see, even NXT when it was under Triple H, they were introducing new people and stuff. But the vignettes, like the choice of music, like you felt the hype, regardless of whether they had any following coming in beforehand.
Yeah. Is it safe to say that this seems like the current 2.0? It seems like a product aimed at the younger crowd, but produced and ideated by boomers.
Yes. Oh my God, you hit the nail right in the head, bro.
Yeah, it feels like a bunch of old dudes sitting around going, the kids will like that. Farts. He's taking a shit because he ate too much.
No, it's literally that's a good one, bro. I really appreciate that. It's literally a boomer finding out what is a TikTok.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm gonna shoot TikTok my way, and the kids will love it. Clearly, no.
And I don't even consider us to be quote unquote kids, right? But like I don't know. It just seems let's get back to the match. Let's get back to the match because the match was actually good. Oh yes.
Yeah, but last best example. Imagine, right, bro? They tried to shoot a promo vignette to hype up the debut of Velveteen Dream in this NXT 2.0 with their production right now.
Oh no, it would be. Oh no, cannot.
Dead on arrival already, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move on. Imperium versus Kylo, Reilly, and Von Wagner. And like we said, because 3 out of the 4 are not green, and Imperium have always been a good, like technically sound team. Kylo, Reilly, we all know, technically sound. The problem is 0 charisma. The team of him and Von Wagner, like negative charisma.
The match, right, made me appreciate Imperium so much.
Bro,
like they are like the best kind of European type of wrestlers, you know.
Can we just appreciate all the OGs? Because we are not going to see them much longer in NXT. Very unfortunately. I feel like that is exactly where this is headed towards. The match itself, like I said, technically it was fine, but I felt no connection to it because, well, I feel no connection to any of the performers here.
Yeah, the match in itself, like, was good. It's the kind of match that you watch on AEW, you'll be like, yeah, it's a good match.
Yeah.
But the thing is, right, I feel like for me, Imperium is like a king in an island of like just subjects. Like there's no one who can match them in terms of like presentation, their quality in the ring. Just, you know, their presentation is like top notch, solid, bro.
Yeah.
You know, don't you think that they should just go to the main roster?
And be a jobber team? No, I do not think so, because you know that's what's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, I maybe if like, you know, given the track record, yes, it would be like shit. But I just feel that their presentation, the way they come across, I think it will be so refreshing with like other tag teams that is already established. You know, like, I would love to. Can you imagine Imperium versus like the Usos, for example? I don't know. It's just pretty dope.
Imperium versus the Street Profits. So you can play up the whole sophistication versus street, right? Yeah, I see what you mean.
Class,
yeah, I see what you mean. But ultimately, I feel like if they ever went up to the main roster, they would just be jobbers within a few weeks. I don't see a very high ceiling for Imperium, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
in the
they're
main
gonna
roster.
just be a big fish in a very small, getting smaller.
Yeah.
The pond.
I don't even think they are big fish, to be honest, in this pond. Like I said, technically sound, but in terms of the character, like they need Walter. They need Walter to be there to lead them. Right now, they are like a bunch of sergeants with no leader, no commander, you know? And even though they've given them some time to do promos, one speaks German, one speaks Italian, they insult the Americans. Like, maybe to us, we're like, yeah, I agree. They can't speak a second language. They dumb.
No, but that's the thing. Is it me or is only the two of them working in the US and Walter just doesn't want to go to the US?
Yeah, that's probably it because, you know, Omicron. Actually, no, I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay, so they defeated Kylo, Reilly, and Von Wagner. Like I said, Kyle and the Angmo Great Kali, I feel no charisma, no connection to them. And then the Kyle turn. Okay. So I guess those hikes didn't do anything lah. I guess he thought that Von Wagner was being a chore, taking him going out to nature. Maybe they had a little Brokeback adventure and then now they're angry at each other. I don't know what the fuck happened. But who cares? Like, when it happened, I was like, oh, okay. Do you want to see... I mean, it's not a matter of do you want to see Kyle versus Von Wagner. It's, do you want to see Kyle put over Von Wagner in the next few weeks?
The thing I was trying to wrap my head around wasn't Von Wagner coming into NXT, wasn't he a heel? So the heel was turned by the heel got
he
heel
was
turned by?
no, he was face. He came in like, oh, you know, I'm a new guy, and then he kept trying to befriend Kyle. And Kyle was the loner. Remember, he had been burned by Undisputed Era. He didn't want to be in a tag team. But finally, he dragged him out hiking. Yay! They went camping. Yay! And then they became friends. And then Kyle was like, I ain't about the camping life no more. Fuck you. Kicks him and like, I don't care. This is dumb. I would rather have Von Wagner turn on Kyle, honestly, and just have him be a monster heel. Because at this point, like, what are you gonna have him be? Oh, Puting, he turned on me. You look like the great fucking Kali. You're huge. How do I feel sympathy about that?
I keep thinking of all the people that they've released, right? And I think to myself, right, people like maybe Drake Maverick would have made it work.
Yeah.
Like he has done it before. You know, like he made Killian Dane feel like he had charisma.
Yes.
But if you have a charisma black hole in Kyle O'Reilly, trying to bring out charisma in a black hole like Von Wagner,
it's just double exponential charisma black hole. Usually when turns happen, it's like, oh, it's a big deal, right? It's a moment. When this turn happened, I was like, okay, whatever, let's move on. And
okay, bye.
It makes it worse because I know that the point of this turn is to have Kyle get smashed by Von Wagner and then after that, Kyle go bye-bye. So it's like, it's quite obvious what's going to happen already, right?
But what's the situation with Kyle? Is he staying in NXT or because I've heard rumors that they are all like their contracts are all ending like all around the same time.
Yeah, so now just get the best use out of them, have them put over the young talent and then say all the best in your future endeavors. I mean, unfortunately, doesn't this seem like the case? I would rather see Kyle and Roderick Strong go over the AEW, Undisputed Era over there. Let's go. At least put them to good use. You know, they need a leader like Adam Cole. Let's be 100% honest.
You know what's funny? I think right now at this point in the hierarchy, right, Bobby Fish is the second most interesting person from Undisputed Era after Adam Cole right now.
Yeah, which is I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that they know they're leaving soon. So maybe they're not putting their like 100% into it, you think?
Or maybe they know that they're leaving and that's why the management is not putting in 100% into them.
So they're like, okay, just do whatever law and then put over the new guy. Anyway, talking about that. Jason says Kyle's contract ends before Christmas. Well, there you go. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, how will Diamond Mine continue? Anyway, we'll talk about that next. Let's move on. Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson. Hair v. hair.
Is it me, bro, or Cameron Grimes actually looks quite good looking?
He's actually, if he shaved, he's quite handsome, no? I think so.
Handsome, like, I didn't realize it with all the beard, but like when he had like shorter hair, I was like, hey, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure if he cut his hair short, gel a bit, you know, and shave his beard, he'll look quite like likable and handsome. which
Yeah.
I mean, funnily enough, would have been a great finish to the match.
It would have been a great like if he actually got shaved, it would have been like a great story arc from when he first started out in NXT.
Yeah, like an evolution, right? Okay, let's
Yeah.
talk about the match itself. Did it stand out to you? Because I don't know what it was. I felt bored watching this match.
I just kept simping on Cameron Grimes lah. I was like, hey,
hell?
good looking bro.
Hey,
Good looking guy, bro.
What the hell?
No, but you know what's funny?
What?
Like Duke Hudson wasn't he used to be a tag team specialist? He had that whole TM61 tag team, I think.
Huh? He's not TM61.
I remember he was the Australian duo, wasn't it? TM61.
No. That guy left already. Like, this is a new guy. Duke Hudson was in the.
He was Vink or something. Cameron Vink or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Are you sure? Okay, let me Google Duke Hudson real quick.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen him around. He got this Aussie. I think he even had a match on Raw, bro.
I think you're thinking of a different person. The TM61 guy left already.
I mean, those in chat, if you guys know, please educate us.
Okay, his name is Brandon Vink.
Yeah.
He's known as Elliot Sexton. No, he wasn't in TM61.
Okay, so he wasn't in any tag team.
No, is
Australian tag team.
No. Okay, hang on. Let me just Google TM61. That's Shane Thorne and another guy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Shimpton. Yes, correct.
Duke Hudson acting cannot make it. Yes, Irvin, I agree with you 100%. His, like, he just doesn't seem persuasive in whatever he does. So
Jinlong also say, honestly speaking, watching one War Games match is enough. The rest of the matches just browse through Twitter for the results.
poor thing.
Or just watch our podcast just for the results, clearly.
Yes, there you go. Okay, I'm taking a look at Nick Miller and Shane Thorne, TM61. Yes, there you go. Yeah, it's a new guy. Yeah, Duke is a new guy. He was in the every year they have this breakout tournament. He was in the breakout tournament. Yeah.
Okay, I brought it up because I keep thinking that he's an Australian guy, Aussie guy. I mean, he should have had some sort of easygoing Aussie charm, but for some reason, nothing about him is like charming. Like he was trying to be all Hugh Jackman, you know, being all cool and stuff. But like,
no, doesn't work.
Like when Cameron Grimes outsmarted him in that poker game thingy. I was like, yeah, you are dumb. Yeah, it's fine. You deserve it.
Okay. I love how you have absolutely no sympathy for this man. See, here's the problem, right? His whole, and if you watch his vignette, which they also played, by the way, his old vignettes, he's like, I'm a professional poker player. If you can, it applies to wrestling. You can outwit your opponent, outsmart your opponent. This entire feud has been him being outsmarted by Cameron Grimes. So, like, I don't get this booking. I know you want to put over Cameron Grimes because he's a crowd favorite, but why are you making Duke, the new guy, the guy you're trying to push, look like a dumb fuck when, that's his whole gimmick? He's smart, but actually he's not. He kinda cheated by Cameron Grimes.
The only time he has actually shown that he can outsmart people is in his backstage promos. But when it comes to him, like playing or doing his character in front of a crowd, like he just looks like a chump.
He does. And or is it because Cameron Grimes is too much of a character? He outshines him. Like the disparity in commitment to the character and acting is so vast that his greenness just shows because Cameron Grimes is, too charismatic already.
Yeah, I do have a problem with Cameron Grimes' booking though. Like after the whole feud that he had with LA Knight, with the $1 Million Championship, blah blah blah. Like I just felt like the whole point of that feud, it just doesn't matter because at the end of the day, LA Knight is like almost a de facto face being in Team Black and Gold. Yeah. So his entire heel run was like, oh okay, and then Cameron Grimes just reverted, kind of slid down the card and is like feuding with this guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't it a case of OG trying to put over a new guy? But in this case, they obviously see a lot in Cameron Grimes, and I think they think that putting him with Duke Hudson will give Duke Hudson good experience, and that's all it is. I would have, as much as I dislike what this Duke Hudson character is all about, if he won here, at least you give him some heat. Now, this entire feud, he's got like embarrassed. Except for the one time he shaved Cameron Grimes' head, like small victory, I guess. But he just looks like a chump in this whole feud. So
yeah. I feel like Cameron Grimes' booking, correct me if I'm wrong, very similar to Orange Cassidy from last year. Like when Chris Jericho was building him up, he had all these great matches, right? And then he won against Chris Jericho. So huge feather in his cap, right? Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he slid right back down the card. Then he's part of Best Friends, and he's just like nothing. He did absolutely nothing. So I just find like the whole effort that Chris Jericho made to build him up during that whole rivalry was for nothing.
Yeah. Actually, are we too harsh on what is supposed to be developmental, says Irvin? No, because it's on TV. The whole point of developmental is to not be in front of people, to be in like a region where only a few people can see. So the greenness can be worked out. Well, no, now you're working out the greenness on TV for all of us to see. So I don't think it's too harsh. I mean,
yeah.
That being said, you know, a lot of it is not any of their faults. It's the booking, right?
You know the term, right? Like you can't get into, like you don't have a chance to get into get a first impression.
Yeah.
Or you don't get a
Second
chance to make another first impression.
Yeah.
Second chance to make another first impression. And I think that's the problem. Like, what if they are just overexposing all their green wrestlers right now? And no matter how great they come, like for example, The Miz is the best example in my opinion.
Yeah.
If Miz came out fully formed the way he is now, like we will never even talk about how last time he really was a terrible wrestler, because no one got to see that.
Well,
but
I mean, the argument is that, okay, but then you can see his progression. So at least you see like the evolution of the Miz. You can appreciate that. I'm arguing from the other side, right? So at least like now there's that story that can be told. Yeah, I remember when he started out like fucking trying to read shit off his wrist and stuff like that and forgetting Diva search numbers. And now he is the top guy that he is.
I mean, that's a great counter argument, but I think the point still stands with regards to NXT right now. Like I just find that they are setting them up to fail.
Yeah, and here's the thing: The Miz was like he's one or two guys during the Tough Enough era. This is the whole card, leh. The whole show is nothing but OGs versus green, and the OGs will make the green guys look even more green.
Yeah. As much as they try to build them up, but we clearly can tell that they're not ready at all.
Okay, so Duke Hudson gets his head shaved. I don't know if it's a rookie mistake or what, but there wasn't that visual. Like, you know, when he shaves his head, he immediately grabs his head like, no! That kind of thing. I didn't see I didn't visually see his shaved head. That should have been like an obvious thing, like one big patch in the head. Then you at least get the satisfying visual. Remember Victoria versus Molly at WrestleMania? Like they committed, shave her hair, botak. Then they cut to vignette. Then when they came back, you see Molly Holly's head bald. That's the payoff, right?
I think my favorite, like most memorable hair versus hair match has to be Kurt Angle versus Edge.
Yes, but okay, you see, that's my point. The whole payoff of a heavy hair match is to see one fella or one person go bald. Correct?
Correct.
We didn't get that here. All we saw was Cameron Grimes like shave him a bit. So okay, the idea of him shaving him, and then Duke Hudson covered his head the whole time, and you couldn't see whether he was bald or not. So I was like, I don't know if that's the green. There's another thing. Maybe he was too green. Like he should have been like, and then take his hand off and then show the big fucking patch. At least it gives you that's the pop moment. That's where you make the crowd laugh, right?
Yeah. I mean, overall, it was just it felt like it felt like a green wrestler dragging an established wrestler down.
Yep,
that's just what I felt.
Yeah. From the wrestling itself, it was okay lah. The acting though, the commitment to the bit, I think Duke Hudson has a lot to work on. A lot. We really need, like I said, like the interview that John Morrison gave. Not interview, but like that video he put out, right? They are there. It doesn't matter if the crowd is laughing at them. That's what their passion is, to commit, to give them a moment. Duke Hudson, not that I'm saying he doesn't have the passion. I'm saying he doesn't know how to give people the moment yet. And him just like covering up his head, I was like, you are spoiling the moment. Let people see your bald head. That's the payoff of a heavy hair match.
Yeah. Oh man, makes me miss John Morrison really, man. I mean, like easily promo that he did was better than anything he put on Raw in the last 2 years that he was there.
Irvin says wrestling too many bald people, really bad move. Well, if anything, maybe this could be a way Duke Hudson transforms his character and they move away from this stupid poker thing and he gets all like ultra violent. Maybe that's the way they go.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that feels like a natural thing to do. It's the pro is like, okay, out of all the NXT 2.0 roster talents, my favorite so far, and we're going to talk about it in the next match, I honestly starting to grow. Like Joe Gacy starting to grow on me a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And okay, so moving on to the next match for the Cruiserweight Championship. The weight limit has been abolished for this match because we want to be all-inclusive, quote-unquote. Roderick Strong with Diamond Mine versus Joe Gacy with Harlan. I think the only reason, I mean, not only one of the more compelling reasons that you want to support or get behind Joe Gacy is because of the guy behind Joe Gacy, right?
Yeah, he's committed to his character.
Yeah, we want to see what Harlan can do. And I've said this before, this reminds me a lot of Devon and Batista, or as in Reverend Devon and the Deacon Batista back in the day.
Yeah, and a lot of people forget that part of Batista's career, right? But sometimes I watch it back, or sometimes it comes out on YouTube. They were actually pretty over, bro.
Yeah.
Like that whole act really served as a great like gimmick change for Devon when he got first split up from Baba Ray Dudley, right? And the funny thing is, I remember there was this one time when they were actually walking and asking for donations, right?
Yeah.
Like the people in the crowd really gave them money.
Which is
so
quite
they're
funny.
winning them over for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's slightly different, obviously. This character is supposed to be a progressive woke left, like ultra woke left, right? And like you said, once again, the match itself, it was all right. It's Roderick Strong, you know. The thing is, like Roderick Strong had his whole group. Joe Gacy had Harlan. Like we didn't see Harlan get into any shenanigans. Not that I noticed anyway. Was there a missed opportunity to show off Harlan?
I don't know. I think maybe they are keeping him for a bit later. I mean, his presence is menacing.
Yeah.
Anytime Harlan is on the screen, right? He is much more menacing than any single time Omos is on the screen.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I've been cheating on Omos a lot, but Harlan he looks like a bit something wrong with his head.
Yeah.
Inside his head, you know.
And the same with Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy is more like he xiao. Harlan is like there's a fire building inside. He could at any moment just explode, right?
Yeah, I like that. He is probably like a much more threatening Snitsky.
Yeah, yes.
That's a good one, right?
We'll have to wait and see. Once they give him the mic, he might pull a Snitsky. Anyway, Chat says, Tovakin says the Cruiserweight title now an afterthought, to be honest. Yes. Jason brings up a very good point. I was hoping to see Gacy win, create an open weight championship. And I think because of all the rumors out there that, they're going to can the Cruiserweight championship. And I was actually hoping that, they go with Joe, because let's face it, Roderick Strong is boring. At least Joe Gacy has his controversial character. If he makes a title open weight, can you imagine he has a match with a woman? He beats up cruiserweights, and it's like the ultimate hypocrisy, which works for his character, right? We talked about it last week. But
my God.
But no, Roderick Strong wins with a backbreaker, and that's it. Bye-bye, end of match.
You just gave me a great thought in my head. If he were to go down the open weight route, if you think about it, he starts fighting intergender matches, right? Yeah. Like you said.
Heat magnet. And then ultra heat.
Yeah. He completely beats up and abuses women and then says that, we have to treat men and women all the same.
Yeah, inclusivity, bro. They hinted at that last week when he had that quote-unquote, remember that challenge where he was 1v3? So he beat up a cruiserweight. Then the next one was a woman, but he got interrupted by Diamond Mine. I was like, ooh, they're actually going there. And then I think they are trying to hint, but they're scared to go there.
Sometimes I like to think that the writers are actually having a lot of good ideas that they're trying to push through, and it's just the management that is like either they a bit maybe no, or they don't get it. Because I think that idea would have come from a young guy. Yeah, that kind of concept.
Yeah, the whole Joe Gacy concept has definitely been created by someone who's slightly younger who who understands quote unquote woke culture lah. Even if you didn't want to go to that extent, you could just have him beat up cruiserweights every week, and then the commentators can continually say, "Oh, look at this guy trying to pretend to be inclusive. Actually, he's abusing his power by beating up cruiserweights, like people way smaller than him. So I want to be over." So you have a heel, but no. We'll just keep the title on Roderick Strong, who's boring as fuck with the title.
Joe Gacy, among the new NXT roster, the reason why I really like him is he reminds me of a couple of very compelling characters. Like he got a bit of Bray Wyatt, that can be seen in his cult-like behavior.
Yep.
But right, bro, in terms of promo skills, he also reminds me a bit of Kevin Owens.
Yep. Is it because his hair and his body size look like Kevin Owens also?
Maybe that helps to facilitate the image. But it's just the way he talks. It's real. But also that he believes his shit, and you kind of get sucked into it, right? And also one thing I never really focused on was his in-ring ability, because I only see his promos, right? But in this match, he is kind of very explosive for a guy his size.
Well, let's face it, he hangs in there with Roderick Strong, and that is something that can't be said about a lot of the other matches that featured the OG versus the Green guys. So kudos to him. I think that they definitely see a lot of potential. We see potential in him, his gimmick, but he did not need to take a loss here.
Yeah. Irvin brought up a funny point. Omos is a monster NBA guy. Are you sure he doesn't look like Lukaku more? I mean, both same,
It's the height lah. It's the height. Slightly related to Roderick Strong, says Jason, his wife Marina Shafir is all elite. Well, I mean, we all know that Roderick Strong is AEW bound lah. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I will probably talk about this later, but AEW's roster starting to get very bloated, bro. It's like AEW become all NXT plus all the indie talents coming together.
Yep, because all friend. So you know what that does, right? I mean, it flushes out. And how many years has it been since the start of AEW?
Coming to 3 years next year.
So I'm sure a lot of these contracts are going to be up. Your Joey Janela, your librarians, you needed these jokers at the start because you had no talents. But now you have all these talents. You can slowly say, okay, bye-bye, back to the indies you go. And they're going to have a ridiculously stacked roster. Exciting times.
Yeah, I mean, it's great in the sense that I feel like them filtering out all these so-called talents that hasn't been given a chance also gives the indies a chance to get back wrestlers who have already been on national television. Yeah, exactly. As much as you crap on Joey Janela or Sonny Kiss, but they got the so-called notoriety from being on AEW. Sure. And that will just help. That will help them. Yeah, so kudos for them.
So okay, I did not enjoy the finish to this match. I did not enjoy the booking, where this is going. So it's where does this leave Joe Gacy? I feel like it makes him look weak.
I'm curious to see how he bounces back, because I think that him and his double act with Harlan is interesting. I got big hopes for Harlan ever since we first saw him looking like Brock Lesnar. Yeah. So there is potential there. Among all the NXT 2.0 rosters, they are my favorite act, in my opinion.
Okay, sure. My favorite act is Gigi Dolan and Cora Jade, but for different reasons. Anyway,
what kind of act you want them to do to you, bro?
Wrestling acts.
Okay,
that's what we are here for, Okay. Let's move on to the main event then. Another War Games match, Team 2.0 versus Team Black and Gold. And this is the second I realized, Roderick Strong beat Joe Gacy, Cameron Grimes beat Duke Hudson, Imperium beat Kyle Reilly and Von Wagner. I was like, okay lah, 2.0 is winning already, because all the OGs won the previous matches.
Yeah, man, yeah. Wait, bro, I can hear something crackling in your mic.
Crackling, okay. It all sounds good on my end, my friend.
Okay. Just checking, just double checking. Okay, so you brought up a great point. They really kind of telegraph the result based on the match being booked.
And if you look at the first match, right, the first War Games match, the quote-unquote OG team won, but the person that won the match was the one newbie, Cora Jade. So, I mean, it's obvious lah. Every match is about putting over new talent, except for the ones that mattered. So, okay, Imperium, Cameron Grimes, Roderick Strong, nobody cares about those matches. Let's face it, right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
So Team 2.0, them going over with a power slam. I mean, I don't know, man. Okay, let's talk about.
Okay, let's talk about the good things about the match that I like.
Sure.
I first of all, I love Gargano bringing back Rebel Heart.
Yep.
That's one thing I think Jason also mentioned in our Instagram DMs. It felt like this match was a swan song for Johnny Gargano. Don't you think so?
It felt like a swan song for a lot of people, which is what made me sad.
Yeah. Yep. It was. It felt like Gargano was like, and he mentioned it in the lead up to this match that he has never competed in the War Games, which is I'm quite surprised that has never happened.
Yep.
But he gave me that nostalgic like Shawn Michaels factor. Like I just want him to do well in the match. So when he started out with Carmelo Hayes, I was getting into it.
Yeah.
I did like how they kind of like tease the DIY reunion, brought them back together. I think that was great as well. And of course Pete Dunne, bro. Like Pete Dunne just seems so much at home in this kind of environment.
Look, I think that Pete Dunne doesn't get the credit. Well, I know the NXT fans love Pete Dunne, but I just wish that he had his run as the champion. You know? Wait, was he? He was only NXT UK champion, right? He was never NXT champion.
Yes. Yes, correct.
So yeah, I mean, like, I feel like he's like one of those guys I feel like in the future will be like a $1 million man. He should have won the championship at least once. One of those guys, like a Cesaro sort of a vibe, because he's always been there, and every time he's in there, he makes this shit look good. And when he was in there, right, it's like, okay lah, y'all don't need 1,000 weapons, and it shows, right? The women's match, first thing they do, they throw in every goddamn weapon there is. Here, you just have Pete Dunne bending Waller, Grayson Waller's fingers in the cage, and it looks great. It looks better than any of the shitty candlestick shots that the first match, had so many of.
Yeah, even something as simple as putting the hand on the cage and like stomping on it.
Yeah.
It looks scary. It looks painful, and that's the whole point. You don't have to do so many things. You're right. Great point that you brought up there. And also one more thing I like about Pete Dunne in this match, he kind of grounded the match a lot.
Yep.
They were trying to do crazy stuff, like especially the young kids. And I felt that having him there made it feel like a real battle as opposed to just a sport fest.
Yes, made it feel like more of a real fight lah. Okay, I don't know what it is though. I feel like LA Knight is slowly winning me over. As in, like, you know when he first came in, he was like, yeah, there's something off. But now it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because he's on Team 2.0. And not 2.0, Team Black and Gold. And some of that positive vibe has rubbed off on him. And you see like he's got the energy, and he's like, he's a good promo always. It's just that we never really figured out what is his X factor. What is that one thing that's going to push him to the next level? Like, I guess being a part of the OG NXT made me like him a little bit more here.
Yeah, and it's weird because he kind of came in right at the tail end of this whole era of NXT.
Yeah.
So I never really associated him with being an NXT like original.
Yeah.
But I watched the promo that he did to hype up his team last week, and that was amazing, man. I felt the intensity. He felt. I don't know who he reminds me of. I mean, we talk about how he reminds us of The Rock or Stone Cold sometimes, but something else about him is a bit old school, like an early 90s wrestler. The way he does his promos, does it ring a bell for you?
I feel like I know what you're saying, but maybe he needs to be in a faction. Maybe he's the sort of person who does best bouncing off other people, and he could be the faction leader.
Okay, I kind of scared. The promo that comes to mind, he reminds me a bit of how Rick Rude used to do his promos, or maybe a bit of Kurt Hennig.
Okay, yeah.
There's that jock. It's like a jock kind of energy. Yeah. But there's this great confidence, and he knows how to rah-rah people. So he got a very old school baby face type of promo.
But it's sort of lacking something.
Do you know what is lacking? Honestly, in my opinion,
what
he lacks better talent opposite him, so that he can have better promo battles.
Okay, so obviously this entire match was to highlight Braun Breaker lah. Let's be honest, the big booty nephew.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Braun Breaker felt like RVD in Team Alliance.
Right.
You get the kind of dynamic I'm trying to put across, the fact that he is in the team that no one wants to win, but you like him in spite of him being in the team that no one wants to win.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And did Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo stand out to you here?
I was looking at the chat and I agree with Jason. Like I did think that Carmelo gave a good account of himself, and he looks aesthetically like he looks like a star. Like after Braun Breaker, I think he's the next guy. Grayson Waller tried to do that crazy bump, but for some reason the bump doesn't look that good.
Yeah, it looked a bit
the dive of the cage.
Yeah, it was like an elbow drop, right? No, he does this weird elbow drop where he like under the leg.
Yeah,
deal. It looks. I don't know.
What's your thoughts of him all this while?
I think he makes a very good irritating heel. Like, here's the thing. When they first brought him in, it was to be face. I'm Grayson Waller. I'm young. I'm daring. I'm a daredevil. And it just wasn't connecting. But now all of a sudden, he's like part of this heel 2.0. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he actually makes for a very good like heel that is bordering on go away heat. So he's not at go away heat yet.
What's up with his whole attire, like him being a boxer or something like that?
Yeah, apparently. And the second he walked into the cage, right, I was like, motherfucker looks like Mark Merrow, and that's not a good thing.
yeah. I'm like thinking to myself, like, well, what's like, is he doing a boxing gimmick? But he's not wearing boxing gloves.
No, and he doesn't do any boxing moves. And when he stands, his hands are down here. Like, what boxer fucking fights like this?
So like don't wear, it's like he wearing Muay Thai shorts and then starting to just do like grappling.
Yeah, exactly. it makes no sense.
Yeah. D'Angelo didn't really do much for me in the match.
There was this one cool spot where he used a crowbar to do a neck breaker off the top rope. I thought that was cool. But I mean it's just a spot lah.
He did it with Pete Dunne, was it? Yeah.
I forget who it was. Yeah.
I remember that part. But you know what's the thing that made me laugh in this match?
What?
Okay, so they really hype out. Okay, it's the last entrant. Braun Breaker is coming into the cage.
Oh yeah.
And then he can't even break open the cage.
No, because Tony D'Angelo? Who I forgot who locked the chain link around the door. So you see the refs, they are like trying to break the chain. Then obviously they set it up for Braun Breaker to come out at that exact moment. Give it to me, I'll break it, right? And then it's like, and then the camera is like waiting.
Very, very long.
Yeah, I think the producers are, should we cut? Then they're like, fuck, he's taking too long, cut. And then when they cut to the action, he finally gets the door open. They cut back to him walking into the ring. So you never get that shot of him smashing the door open. I'm like, oh no.
No, the best part was when he cut back to the ring, right?
Yeah.
Like Pete Dunne all was like laughing. You see?
Yeah.
It was just like, this guy, he can't even break this cage. So it's a Braun Breaker.
Hey, fuck lah. They should have just rigged the cage so that he just ripped it off. Like Kane style.
Yeah, that would have really made his name Braun Breaker very appropriate. Like,
yes.
Break open the cage.
Yeah, but no, he's there like, I can't break it with. I'm not saying that breaking a chain with the bolt cutters is easy. By no means are we saying that, right? But it was just a very weird moment in a show that's supposed to be about like over the top, show displays of strength. He just looked clumsy as fuck, like.
Yeah, and so it hurt his entrance into the match. Yeah, because by the time he came in, it was very anticlimactic, and there wasn't any like anticipation when he started like throwing hands.
Like you said, the other wrestlers were like,
yeah, a bit sad. Like, Jason had brought out a great point. LA Knight was a brilliant babyface in NWA Power. I don't know whether you watched some of the matches.
No, I never watched NWA Power, but. Okay.
When it first came out, like he was a great. I used to call him the shit stirrer. So like a face and a heel is fighting against each other. He's coming in between and he just like stir shit so that both of them start to fight each other. That was his whole ammo lah.
So maybe this is what he should be doing lah in NXT 2.0. Okay, so beyond the inability to break a chain. they basically put him over big time lah, right?
Yeah. Not a wrong move.
Mhm.
I mean, if they're really gonna commit all out in putting over the 2.0 roster, Braun Breaker being the final survivor or the winner makes sense.
I guess this was a way to have Braun Breaker also get a pinfall over Ciampa, but Ciampa not lose the NXT title. Then this also gives him an argument for, okay, yeah, you owe me a rematch. I pinned you at War Games, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. I won't be surprised this time in the new year, Braun Breaker finally winning the title from Ciampa and being the leader of the new school going forward. I won't be surprised.
Where does that put people like Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, who have said they don't want to move up to the main roster, but they can't stick around NXT all, their career, right?
I mean, if the rumors are true, Gargano, this is his last appearance in NXT. Maybe AEW bound really, really soon. For Ciampa, I don't see him going. Yeah, Ciampa, I don't see him going AEW. I don't know. What about you?
Me neither, but who knows, man? Maybe to the main roster, and hopefully with Triple H sort of whispering things. Like he seems very, close to Triple H, and I mean, he's obviously a very talented worker. It's just that he'll get lost in the shuffle in the main roster.
You know who I would like to see Ciampa go after in the main roster?
Who?
Randy Orton.
Ooh, actually, those would make for
heat.
Yeah, wow, and that would make for very good TV, I think.
Yeah, and speaking of people that I want to go to the main roster, honestly, I really think LA Knight is ready for the main roster. Like, he can hold himself on the mic.
Yep.
And I think he can go toe to toe with a lot of great people on the main roster. And his style is more entertainment than sports, right?
Well, yeah, true. That's true. Jason says, how long was Dexter Lumis under the ring? I mean, that was a cute spot, I suppose. Him coming out oh my god! But this friggin' what's his face? Trick Williams almost threw the chair onto Grayson Waller's face. Like, did you see Grayson Waller? Like, what the fuck? You almost threw the chair on my face.
Yeah.
Walao eh.
He only had one job.
Yeah.
The whole match.
And he almost decapitated Grayson Waller. Okay, to be fair, I feel like Grayson Waller went through a lot in this match. He got his fingers bent. He almost got, nuked by a chair from the sky.
Yeah.
And he had to do that top rope dive. Okay, respect.
I give it to him for, all the kids, I think gave a good account themselves.
Yeah.
But in terms of impact, I would say Braun Breaker was the main guy. Carmelo Hayes a close second. And like you say, Grayson Waller for taking all the bumps.
Yeah, and then
D'Angelo really didn't do much for me. So I can't even remember anything that was memorable from his side.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo, I feel like it's just mostly gimmick, and that's it. He did mafia guy.
You know what? If you took him out, put Joe Gacy in his spot, I think it would be a greater lineup.
Okay. Actually, after seeing the end of Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy, I agree with that. I disagree if Joe Gacy actually won the Cruiserweight Championship and made it the open weight. I think that would have been more fun for future storylines. Yes.
It would have been really, really fun. I mean, that would have been another reason to tune into NXT. Right now, we are tuning in for some people like Braun Breaker. They're tuning in for Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
But at the North American title level, it's Carmelo Hayes needs some time to get over as well because Isaiah Swerve Scott did his job much better. Think about
it. Is Carmelo Hayes a rapper? No, right?
No, he's not. He's just purely an athlete guy.
Yeah.
But do you see that photo that apparently Isaiah Scott posted with Sammy Guevara?
Ooh. Is Swerve all elite?
You know what? He'll make a great addition, in my opinion. He and Leo Rush, they can have all their rap battles there.
Tovakin says Tony D'Angelo equals budget Italian Sheamus. Hey, don't insult Sheamus like that. Sheamus is much better.
Don't insult Italians as well. Italians much better.
That's insulting a lot of people, a lot of groups here with this
don't insult people on budgets as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is how highly we think of Tony D'Angelo, right? Okay, so that's NXT War Games 2.0. What a way to wrap up 2021, like a wet fart in church. Okay,
No. We shall not accept this to be the end of Kick to the Gut for 2021 with this kind of crappy review. So don't worry, at least it's not our last episode of the year yet.
Yes, next week will be the last episode of the year as we take a look back at the year 2021, and we're gonna bring back the Kick to the Gut Awards, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who doesn't know or who are new to our channel and our podcast, 2 seasons ago in season 2, we debuted our first ever 2019 Kick to the Gut Awards. At that point in time, we gave, both of us came up with votes.
Yeah.
And also we also had an audience participation as well, and we kind of gave like all the different like categories lah. But during that period, there was also the local local promotions also had awards dedicated to like local wrestlers. But currently after the pandemic, of course we didn't have it last year, but now I think we're gonna focus mostly on AEW, WWE, right?
We can have one category, local wrestler that made the most impact. Only one nominee.
Yes, we can do that. I think we will definitely come out with some sort of award for him. But yeah, I think it would be great way to like look back at the year that was 2021 and kind of make it fun and get everyone to be involved as well.
Yeah, so look forward to that next week, and after that we'll take a bit of a break. Next week we'll maybe preview a bit of Day 1 as well. I mean, that's an interesting pay-per-view. Day 1 is, I believe, on a Saturday, so it's Sunday morning for us.
Yeah, and that will be in the new year already, right?
Yeah. So maybe the first episode. Actually, is that the same as Wrestle Kingdom?
Yeah, it should be that weekend.
Hold on, let me Google.
Tovakin said talk a little about AEW before, so we don't end the episode on a downer.
Ayo, why like this? Okay, hang on. Let me just take a quick look at New Japan.
Can. Don't worry, Tovakin. We will touch on a bit about Cody Rhodes and his flaming table. Okay.
Oh God. Okay. Hang on. January 4th and 5th. Holy shit, bro! That weekend will be Day 1, Wrestle Kingdom, Night 1 and Night 2.
Bro, great way to start the new podcast season, bro.
Holy hell, that's a lot of wrestling. It's also the New Year, so I like, wow, I might have like, New Year's Eve things to do and shit like that. Wow, I'm gonna be sneaking in one corner and trying to watch wrestling. Like, okay.
Wait, but then by that time it's already the New Year already passed. Are you gonna be like going out on the weekend after the New Year?
Actually, I don't know. Maybe not. January 4th and 5th. Let me just take a quick look at the calendar.
It's a Saturday, Sunday, right?
No. 4th and 5th is Tuesday and Wednesday, bro.
Oh, really?
So, okay, on Saturday, the 1st is New Year Day 1, right? So, Sunday morning our time, right?
Yep.
And then 4th and 5th will be Wrestle Kingdom.
Okay, so that means... Okay, for season 5, first episode will be reviewing Day 1.
Yeah.
And then the second episode will be reviewing Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, I don't know about that though, bro. Oh, actually, can because I have a cruise. And we'll talk about why are we talking about this on stream. I'm going on a cruise 1 week, so I won't be around unless it's the Jericho cruise. But it's not the Jericho cruise. No, it's a Royal Caribbean cruise. Anyway, I'm going on a cruise the week after this Wrestle Kingdom, but we can do the podcast on the weekend because Wrestle Kingdom's on Wednesday and Thursday.
Then we can do a double podcast for the whole week.
Boom. Okay, cool. Yes, let's talk a little bit about wrestling. I mean, good wrestling. Let's talk about not Cody's match. No, I'm kidding. I'm just being bad. Look, man, it's quite obvious right now that all the momentum is on AEW side.
Yes, right? Correct.
Right? Yep.
But apparently the ratings doesn't reflect it, huh?
Well, I mean, it was so shit for so long, and there are only so, and also like, okay, here's the thing, right? Every time you get into the holiday season, and this is probably why WWE is slacking off, because they know that during the holiday season is people doing their traveling, people break their habits because they are on holiday, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
It's the same throughout the entire media landscape. Like, as a radio person, someone who has done radio for a long time, your lowest listenership is always November, December. Because people are, preoccupied about doing things. Here's the big one. Kids are on vacation or on school holiday. So the parents might be taking vacation to stay at home. I mean, before the pandemic, parents would take leave to take their kids overseas, like in the December period, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And the same applies throughout the world. So this actually, to me, explains why the WWE product seems to be slacking off now. And AEW, they just want to we want to do good stuff all year round, which I appreciate. But you're doing it to a bunch of people who are like, we still need to take our vacations. We need to go out. We need to break our habits and not watch wrestling.
Yeah. And it seems like for them, they are starting this new tradition where they're going to make a yearly winter is coming. So there's always going to be something that happens like in December for them. And that is like, I think their last big event of the year. What I like about AEW is, yes, they have their 4 major pay-per-views, but in between, there's like all these mini Dynamite specials that kind of still keep the momentum going regardless.
So the main event of Winter is Coming is I'm going to say Daniel Bryan. I mean Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Adam Page AEW Championship on free TV. Is that what they should be doing? I would say yes. I would say, you know why? Because I feel like, as weird as it is to say, I think Bryan Danielson and Hangman Page will be a transitional feud. Which, well, you know, kind of sucks because we are all, you know, rooting for Bryan Danielson, Hangman Page to actually have, you know, something bigger to elevate each other. But you're right. I feel like at this point, this feud is just there to make Page a better champion. And also another thing, I feel like Bryan Danielson, do you see he did an interview with TV Insider recently, and he opened up about what is his 3-year plan in AEW. He talked about how like this is his final contract, so he wants to face the best in the world. But there's this one interesting quote that he mentioned. He wants to create a faction and build up a new young star, similar to how Chris Jericho built up Sammy Guevara. Okay.
So, if you think about it, Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson has never been part of a faction. A tag team, yes. But he was never the leader of a faction.
No, wait. Did you mean yes?
There was a movement, got a difference. But he specifically mentioned one person that he said he would love to work with as his like mentor, this person as part of a faction. When I heard the name, I was like, that's random. But then it kind of makes sense given his style. And he has done it before in WWE when he tried to build up. Remember? What's that guy's name? No, the guy that also was a technician also.
Drew Gulak.
Yes, Drew Gulak. He tried to build up Drew Gulak, right? So he has his eyes set on Danny Garcia.
Okay.
I know, it's so random.
Yeah.
But like that guy is very bland, right? But it kind of makes sense because I can see someone like Bryan Danielson trying to build up someone like that who had no personality into someone with charisma and personality. So look, it could be like in year 2, he could become a faction leader.
So he will never win the title. He will just be there to, you know, build people up. Or will he win the title and be part of a faction and then, you know, build others up along the way? Maybe hold all the gold.
Yeah, I would say that's a great idea because unlike Big E, I feel like Adam Page should hold the title for a very long time. I don't mind Big E dropping his title in day 1, honestly.
Yeah. And quick side note, day 1 as well. Like what we're seeing for day 1 is Big E versus Seth versus Kevin Owens, which is fine, right? But for SmackDown, it's Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. They're doing it for day 1. So is this going to be a trilogy?
That's the thing. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they not saving it for WrestleMania?
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. So so it will be another screwy finish, or will Brock win the title and then Roman have to face Brock at WrestleMania to put over Roman?
I'm not too sure, but I think what I do like is that when Brock came back, like last week on SmackDown, right? I had low expectations. I'm like, okay, he's gonna come back, yeah, blah blah blah. But his interaction with Sami Zayn, though,
yeah, it was funny. Like funny Brock is actually quite entertaining. We forget because he's been the beast, he's been a destroyer for so long that he actually has some comedic chops. The thing is, though, like I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like they're overusing the Brock pop a little bit too much already.
Like getting him to come back, leave and come back.
Like it becomes okay, we need a pop rating. So Brock Lesnar will be here next week. Like
maybe and the problem with that is like what's happening to Edge right now.
Right.
Law of diminishing returns. Like Edge, you know, I love him. We all love him. But like every time he comes back, how many times already he come back already?
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, Okay, here's the thing with Edge too, and building up to WrestleMania. So we forgot to mention that this is actually Beth Phoenix's last pay-per-view as a commentator. They mentioned this, right? This past War Games. So the rumor is, and because Miz came back with Maurice for WrestleMania, the rumor is Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Miz and Maurice. Like, I'm actually down for that.
Yeah, I think that would be great. But I mean, why they kick off like this current feud so early on though? Like this, why don't they just save it for WrestleMania season?
You know they're gonna build like stories and stuff like that. Maybe someone will cause someone at at Royal Rumble. Like maybe the Miz eliminates Edge or Edge eliminates Miz, and then at least there are stories to tell between two veterans. And like, it's funny that he would pick the Miz to work with though, like you think that, Edge is going to be back and it's going to work with some young talent. Like the Miz, okay. I dig it.
It's clear that no one expected it, but now that we saw it, we're like, yeah, I can see some appeal in it. And I think it will be the first time Edge and Beth Phoenix has teamed up together in a match. Don't you think so?
Yeah. And also, I think this would be like remember John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice, right? So it's like that's what they're trying to do again. But this one actually, the couple will stay together, one.
Yeah, married. I mean, I'm happy for both of them. In terms of like Beth Phoenix getting a second run in her career, like post NXT. Yeah. She has been winning us over on her commentary, right?
Yeah. So, okay, I think like to what Tovakin just said, her tweet about wanting to spend more time with her family is a work, probably. Or they could have another home invasion because, from Seth's little adventure, we know that they don't lock their doors. So Miz and Maurice show up at the house. And you know Miz and Maurice, they are very good at the comedy stuff. So they'll do like spoofing things about them, make fun of Beth, make fun of... I only see good stuff on the horizon with this feud.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, we need to go back to AEW. I realized we kind of went on a tangent.
I know.
Yeah, so Bryan Danielson and Adam Page for the title will be great. It will be a great match. I do see Bryan Danielson putting over Adam Page clean as a whistle. Make him the top guy going into 2022, my opinion.
Sure. What else do we have to talk about? MJF versus CM Punk. It's been building. Where this will build to though? Will it build to Winter is Coming or somewhere down the line?
Well, the thing is, Winter is Coming is really just next week.
Yeah.
But this coming week on Dynamite, they're gonna do the Dynamite ring battle royal, right?
Again, yes.
Yes, so it's now a yearly thing. And so how does it work? Does MJF defend his crown? Like he also has to enter the Rumble, the Battle Royal?
Yeah. So it's like a Rumble, so there's no defending champion. It just restarts. Whoever is the new one is the winner, or the winner is the new diamond ring, whatever the fuck.
So clearly CM Punk will have a hand in like eliminating him or maybe outsmarting him and CM Punk winning the Dynamite diamond ring.
Well, is CM Punk even in this match?
No, it has not been announced yet who is in the match. But at the end of the day, this could be the spark that lead them to having a match. But whether it's Winter is Coming, I do not know. That would really make it like a pay-per-view stack card though.
Yeah. I think it's too soon. I think they need to milk this for all it's worth and let it just slowly play out because they built this perfectly. I don't want them to jump the gun on this because they have gold in their hands right now,
Yeah. Do you think they can hold off all the way until Revolution though?
Sure.
In February.
Can. Why not? I mean, and like I said too, like the end of the year, most people are not paying attention already. They are busy with holiday stuff. So save this. Let it drag out. They can just have their verbal altercations. Don't even do a beatdown yet. Give me a beatdown in January.
And after CM Punk came back and he had that match with Lee Moriarty, right? And they did that verbal thing that happened. It wasn't as good as the first one, of course. But then one thing that was interesting was when he walked up the ramp, who came to in between MJF? Wardlow. So you know that he might have to take on the whole Pinnacle, go through Wardlow, the whole damn deal beforehand.
So makes sense. I like it. Let's talk. Tovakin's like, why are we talking about WWE again instead of AEW? Because
Tovakin is clearly an AEW fan.
Huge AEW fan because WWE has day one and they don't have Cody Rhodes. Okay, so let's talk about Cody Rhodes then. Cody Rhodes versus Andrade El Idolo, who apparently broke off their engagement, by the way. So maybe Charlotte Flair will not be going to All Elite, or maybe she still will. Who the hell knows? Whatever. Personal stuff, right there.
Yeah.
Look, man. Like, I don't understand what is going on here with the whole Cody thing. Do you notice the entire commentators booth? They are trying to still sell the fact that Cody doesn't hear the boos, or like, you know, they're acknowledging that the people are booing Cody. But this was his hometown and they didn't really boo him that much. So I'm like, are you not reading the crowd? Like, I don't understand what's going on now.
The thing is, I feel like him in Atlanta is just a moment in time. It's not indicative of like the actual pattern of fan support across the US. Like, yeah, even they support him as a hero, hometown hero, sure, but I don't think that reflects what the rest of the world thinks about Cody.
Okay, well, I mean, like, so, okay, the question is then, did he do what he did to put himself more over, and like, he's like trying really hard to win the fans over? Like, did we really need a flaming table spot on Dynamite? That's my question. Like this went from 0 to 100 real quick. And the funny thing is, right, you know, when he first came out for the match and then the camera panned to his back, even the commentators like, what the heck has happened to his back? Like, what's all this weird shit on his back? And then, of course, I mean, it's probably flame retardant gel. I'm not saying he shouldn't protect himself from a spot. I'm just saying, like, what was the point of, like, it just felt very, like, I don't know, too much for no reason.
No, I it's so weird, but like, okay, maybe he never tell the commentators, so the commentators just commenting off the cuff.
Yeah.
But it's almost as if they ruined the surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a whole bunch of shit on his back. Is his skin peeling or what? Like, does he have a skin condition? Like, what's going on, right? And then after that, I also noticed that Andrade, he was wet the entire match. I'm like, what the? Oh, he probably also had the gel. But he wrestles in a shirt, so it's not so goddamn obvious.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just go right to and talk about the ending, right? You know, if the match ended without the ending, I would have said it was a solid street fight.
Well, look, here's the thing. We shit on Cody a lot, but it has nothing to do with his in-ring work. His in-ring work is solid. Like, we've never said that he sucks, he's greedy. No. He's actually a very good, like, you know, he has his fundamental, he's a good wrestler. Andrade El Idolo, same. Yeah. They actually had a really solid match. Now, the ending.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Oh, and also one more thing. The Triple H, not very, very the obvious lah. The golden shovel.
We get it, Cody. Like, I feel like he's doing it too much. First, the throne thing. Like, okay, the throne thing was like a ooh, right? The more you bring up these references, the more it's like, okay lah, we get it lah. You don't like WWE lah. Oh, like, stop reminding us of the rival product. You know, I think the sledgehammer was enough. Or just have the golden like, or even don't, you know, like, fuck.
But you know that, okay, that is them catering to the hardcore fans. They gotta give that wink and nod. But sure, I chuckle. I was like, okay, this is a great idea for an article. If I were to write an article about Cody Rhodes, sure. 3 times Cody Rhodes reference Triple H in AEW, whatever it is.
Yeah, you should Google that.
Yeah, but the flaming table thing, right? My first reaction when that happened was I got so annoyed. I was so pissed off at Cody.
Why? Okay, wait. That's an interesting reaction. Why were you pissed off at him?
No, like, why are you going way over the top just to win over the crowd? Why are you putting your body through this unnecessary? You know that he's doing it to prove to the crowd to still make himself a beloved babyface. It's very obvious. And then the best part is he did a reverse suplex, right?
Yeah.
Logically, you want to win the match, you throw and destroy your opponent through the fire. I get it. Yeah. But most of the entire move was taken on Cody Rhodes' back. Yeah.
It made zero sense whatsoever because his entire back goes into the table. Andrade flips over, so Andrade technically didn't catch any of the fire.
Yeah, he didn't catch any of the fire, and everything went to Cody Rhodes. I felt very worried for him because he was still technically on fire, but he was making the pin.
Yeah.
Do you see his arms? He had fire on his arms.
Yeah,
and
on
shit.
his pants and everything. Yeah, there were like small little flames. I was like, oh my god, dude, what are you doing?
And the boots was on fire as well.
Yeah.
So that was scary moment. But when he was spinning it, did you see that the fire actually latched onto Andrade?
Yeah.
So in the middle of the pin, Andrade was like trying to tap his chest.
Yeah. So you're putting both Andrade and yourself in peril. I mean, they probably agreed to it. They wanted to have an awesome match. Fine, right? But yeah, you're right. But why? For
but
what?
why? What's the point?
Yeah, like you're already over in your home crowd. You know that you're gonna get cheered, right? So are you trying to prove? So, yeah, it really smacks of okay. It's like that irritating kid in class that is like he's a prefect. He rats everybody out. You know, everyone hates that kid. I'm sorry if you were the kid, by the way. He like scores straight A's, comes to school, no need to wear tie, motherfucker still wear tie. You know, like he's everything perfect. And then good morning, teacher. No, he gives me that vibe. Like it's like, oh, sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up. Stop trying to be a kiss ass. That's what he gives me as a vibe right now. Like, oh, this irritating guy.
And also I just want to know who was the one that came up with the idea, because if it's Cody, then I think someone needs to sit him down and say, okay, bro, just stop it. Stop it.
But that's the thing. Remember, he workshops everything. So he probably got his inner circle. He got his version of the inner circle. Arn Anderson, who did you see what happened? Poor Arn Anderson.
He fell, right? I saw. Oh my god, poor guy.
Arn's probably sitting there. Yeah. Great idea. People are gonna love it.
No, that's the thing. Like, I don't think someone like Arn, someone like Dustin would say, "Hey, put yourself through a flaming table for the cheap pop."
Yeah.
No, none of them would do it.
Yeah, and it ruins any future, main event.
Yeah.
The more of these bullshit things you do, the less of a thrill it becomes. I mean, we've talked. That's why it's been such a refreshing thing to not see the Young Bucks do like 10 billion flips anymore, so that when they finally do it, at least people are like, oh, we haven't seen that shit in a while. That's refreshing.
That's one thing. And even say you want to introduce flaming table, right? There wasn't any build up or escalation that led to it that makes sense.
Yeah,
it was just one time random Brandy Rhodes came out of nowhere. Yeah, smiling. Her smiling pissed me off so bad. She was so proud of herself for burning her husband. And when the husband was caught on fire, she was just smiling. Like, what the fuck? Okay,
do you think, I'm going to try to give them the benefit of the doubt now, talking about them being the Rhodes, right? Do you think he's purposely doing this, knowing it'll piss people like us off? Like, why are you overdoing this? Do you think he's doing that on purpose? Or do you think he truly wants to get the fans to love him again?
I think and I hope, because he's smart, and he listens to the fans, I think it's the first thing. It's like he's still trying to play the baby face, but also putting in hints that he is annoying people.
So you're saying that he's doing this on purpose, that he's not... Yeah. Like he gets that the view of him right now is that he's like trying too hard. So he's purposely going to try too hard more to piss people off.
Yeah. And the only reason why I think that's the case is because he openly acknowledge it in his promos. He says that I will not turn. So he is making a conscious decision to go against the crowd reaction. The problem is AEW always said that we will always listen to our audience.
Yeah. Well,
so is he saying that when it comes to him, no, I will make a decision? No.
But see, doesn't this make him a heel? So this is what a heel does. So the next step logically would be for him to go and challenge for the AEW title and win it. And sit on the throne with a golden shovel.
I think if he turns now and goes back on his word, he has a solid reason why. Because he says, I put myself through fire for you fans, and you still don't appreciate me. I think that's the perfect reason to turn.
Maybe that's what we'll see in January, because he would have built that nuclear heat already. The fans are booing him more every week. Have him challenge Hangman Page.
Bro, what?
Yeah, and then this is how you put Adam Page over as like an all-conquering babyface.
don't you think that if he was the one that beat Adam Page for the title, wouldn't it be nuclear heat?
Oh, yeah. If you really want to go that way, then yeah, in the next year, in February maybe, have him beat Adam Page. Nuclear heat, you're right. And who's the next person in line? Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think Cody is just that ace up the sleeve in AEW. Like, they can just pull the trigger on the Cody Hilton and it'll be compelling TV. It's guaranteed to be compelling TV. But it's just when.
So, are we now saying that him going through a flaming table on Dynamite actually is a good thing and it sets up for more nuclear heat for him in the future? In a way, as much as it annoyed us in an objectively good way. Because that was the point.
Yeah. So, but I think at the end of the day, I feel like there's a lot of very compelling reasons to watch AEW right now.
Yeah, like how will Cody Rhodes endanger himself to put himself over to win us back?
Yes, that's one. and you can always rely on CM Punk, MJF to have great television. And Bryan Danielson is, I think, wrestling some of the best matches of his career. And he is such an interesting, great villain as well.
What I actually really missed was the voice of pro wrestling, JR, because he's off for, doing his chemo and stuff like that. So they had Excalibur, they had Taz, and they had... Was it Taz? No. Excalibur and Tony Schiavone was you miss JR immediately because like he was the glue that held the stories together, right?
Yeah. And also JR already has like a signature line that he can use every time he welcomes AEW fans.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday night. You know what that means?
Yeah, when Excalibur says it, it's like, no, it's not the same. Don't say it. I wasn't really that big a fan of getting guest commentators. Like one or two is fine, but every match got one guest commentator got a bit like tiresome as well.
Yeah, I know. Tess, I think really needs to go back because for me, I don't think he does anything for Team Tess.
No,
like Team Tess is like the worst faction. Like he doesn't do shit at all.
Okay, now Team Tess like got some momentum after they signed what's his face,
Dante Martin.
Yeah. And then there's this whole thing with Leo Rush. Like, okay, I got a bit of momentum, but you're right. Like Hook and Hobbs. Actually, they sound like a cool tag team. Hook and Hobbs.
Hook and Hobbs sounds like
Double
Fast
H.
and Furious.
Yeah. Hooks and Hobbs.
Look at Hobbs.
Double H. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean it's a great faction for AEW Dark lah. I mean that's what you're saying lah.
Is Hook even wrestling?
No, I don't know what he's doing, bro.
He just stand there, look cool, look like a complete Chad.
He looks like some guy who you see on TikTok getting a lot of likes.
Yeah,
just by posing his face.
Yeah. So he's just there, right? I guess it works, lah. And he's probably having fun hanging out with his dad and all these wrestlers. So
I still refuse to believe that they're related because they don't look the same at all.
Yeah, right. Well, Scully, we see some like old pictures of Taz. He's Seabay handsome, like a long blonde hair. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Like maybe like Randy Orton, he had like Heath Ledger hair.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, obviously at this point in 2021, AEW by and far it has the better product. Yeah, we can all agree. Like in terms of compelling like main events, wrestlers, like you could argue that Roman Reigns as a heel, as one guy, as a champion, is the strongest. Like I feel like WWE has the strongest champion if you're just looking at one person. But as a whole, as a product, AEW has a more complete product, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, AEW has a more complete product. I would still argue, right, that WWE has a better roster.
Oh yeah, sure. I would
like the main roster, like everyone can work.
Yeah.
They're not gonna have botch fest. But it's just in terms of the writing, in terms of presentation, compelling storylines, AEW has that on their side.
Well, I mean, and they're gonna have another influx of talent, which is crazy. They're always gonna have those shocking I show up over here moments. Like it's almost an inbuilt thing. Every pay-per-view, you're gonna expect who's gonna show up.
Yeah, I was reading this Bleacher Report article and I really like the thing that they were proposing, right? Somebody needs to build a pipeline, open the pipeline between AEW talent to WWE. Because all this while it's always WWE talent defecting to AEW, right?
But here's the thing. WWE don't want AEW talent. They have their own developmental. That's why this NXT thing is happening. They only want their own people so that they can, build them up. They are WWE way in the WWE system.
Perhaps, maybe. So if the AEW talent were to go to WWE, they must a bit like go down a step and like go through their developmental in a sense.
Okay. I guess my point is like we see a lot of WWE defections to AEW, right? From mid card, low card, whatever. For me, the only way an AEW defection were to happen is if it's a main event person. That's it. Only main event. No mid card, no lower card people. That would make no sense.
Yeah, but okay. So like there's contracts coming up. There's some people that might leave AEW. I would argue that somebody like Big Swole would be a great addition to NXT. Cedric Alexander has the connection. Is the wife.
Yeah.
That's one for example. But what I'm trying to say is like, okay, maybe not everyone will go, but like. And WWE, of course, cherry pick and choose. Yeah. But can you see certain AEW talent actually that might even thrive in WWE? I really can see a couple.
Yeah. No, I mean, like MJF. Like the only,
for sure.
Like he keeps referencing, in a few years I'll start a big bidding war, that kind of stuff, right? And he knows he knows that he is like the main guy. Like someone like CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, they're done. They're not going to go back to the WWE for nothing, right? Yeah. Christian Cage, same deal. Big Show, Mark Henry. They're not going to get what they want at the WWE, so that's not going to happen. In terms of big stars, like I don't even see them taking Adam Page.
Yeah, Adam Page is a lifer for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna give a few names, that I think might do well. Like I can see WWE liking a Wardlow, for example.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is the look? It's the thing that they can mold.
But okay. My argument here is why would I want a Wardlow when I have about 4 or 5 people who look like Wardlow already in developmental and they already signed to me at a very cheap ass contract. You know what I mean? Like they don't need anybody that's not a big star from AEW.
Yeah, perhaps, but I'm just saying it's like someone might need to start opening the pipeline from AEW to WWE because I think only then will it be a proper exchange or like a creation of talent. Even though WWE say that we're gonna create our own stars, blah blah blah. Yeah. But I think they might they are scouting everywhere, including AEW. I'm sure.
I feel like the way it's set up now, I actually disagree. Like the way that they are just like, all right, you are, excuse me, NXT's entire MO is to get athletes, not necessarily pro wrestlers. They don't care if, they can even work. We'll make you work, we'll groom you, we'll train you, that kind of thing. So therefore, like, I feel like why would I want to bring in somebody who already works a certain style, who has those connections to AEW, when I can just mold somebody who's probably looks the same, sounds the same, whatever, unless it's someone like an MJF who's a star, then WWE will take AEW. So my prediction is like we will maybe see 1 or 2 AEW to WWE defections in the next few years, and it will be a big deal. Whereas we'll see a lot more the other way. It's never going to be a balanced equation. Never.
Yeah, okay. But I get your points, and I do see that the appeal is definitely AEW as destination for the WWE stars. But what if there was a situation where AEW lets go of talent and they still feel that they have much to contribute to the wrestling business? They won't want to settle and go take a step down and go to Impact, for example.
Yeah, well, I mean, they will.
Know what I mean?
But then everyone wants to be in the WWE, what? So what does that matter? If Joey Janela gets let go, he knocks on WWE's door. Do you think WWE is going to be like, hey, come? No.
If he's willing to go down developmental and really apply himself to the WWE
you
style,
think developmental so easy? Even the NXT is not easy to get into. That's the fact that we have a Dante Chen there is a huge deal. That's why it's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like I really don't see it happening. I really see them looking at people, and WWE being the mega super corporation that they are going to get to cherry pick from every sport, every walk of life. They don't need a Joey Janela. They don't need a best friends. I will even say they don't need an Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, they don't. Those people will never get a WWE opportunity, in my opinion. So I agree with in that sense.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is like there will be a lot of AEW talent that's going to be let go in the next couple of years. It's inevitable, and I don't think they will be satisfied with just going back down to the indies. They already had a taste of the national stage. I'm not saying that WWE will want them, but I would say that there will be a lot of AEW talent who, if they are let go, would want to angle their way to WWE.
Sure.
But it's how they go about it that we wouldn't know lah.
Yeah, I mean anybody wants to be in the WWE, you know what I mean? So whether they can get in is a different story. I think they cannot. I think the only way is if you're already a big star lah. Anyway,
so the next evolution in this so-called competition will be if AEW has that one big defection to WWE, then that will create the excitement again.
Yes, but I'm gonna argue it's gonna be ultra rare. More likely you will see AEW to New Japan or to Impact. Those trades, not trades, defections, that kind of thing. Hey, Fierce Grinder, what's up, man?
Bro, you're just joining us at the tail end of the podcast, bro.
Hey, don't worry. You can always check out the podcast on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you get your podcasts. Also, check out the video on demand once this episode is done. And we're almost at the tail end of it already, okay? We talked about War Games, NXT, how it was... it happened, okay, yay. Don't expect great things from takeovers if they're even going to do takeovers anymore, is why I say.
Oh man, you know what? Just don't compare it with the old NXT. Like, just remember it for what it was, and just accept that this is a new era, and you don't expect to find the kind of wrestling that you wanted from old NXT in the new NXT. That's all we can say.
Thankfully, there's other stuff to watch like AEW, and yes, Wrestle Kingdom's coming out. We'll be watching that as well. So, once again, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Is there anything else we missed from this week in pro wrestling?
Well, okay, we talked about Cody Rhodes, we talked about SmackDown. Yeah, we kind of went through everything. Okay, so Jason is asking me a question directly to me, bro.
Sure.
Yeah. Is Foreign gonna talk about how he started writing for Sportskeeda? Well, Jason, this is something actually I wanted to announce to like everyone in the podcast. Bro, I'm writing wrestling articles as a side gig.
Yeah, so if you do see his articles, give it a like, share it with the world. My man.
Yeah, man.
Congrats.
Hey, thanks, bro. And Jason, please don't just say Sportskeeda in capital letters, bro. Follow my profile.
There you go.
So you can get all the articles because I've been writing daily. But the very interesting thing is they asked me to write specifically for AEW.
Oh.
So I'll be writing mostly. I mean, all of it will be AEW articles. So, Mr. Young, to stop me from being too AEW centric, you must be bringing the WWE support system. So it'll be like Team WWE versus Team AEW again. Bro.
But WWE right now sucks big fat donkey dick. How am I supposed to do that? Because at the end of the day, that Mr. Young is the most objective person here. Okay, when I shit on anybody, it's objective shitting.
You can shit objectively, correct?
Yeah. Like Ikimanjiro in fucking NXT War Games, where he had a vignette where he had to go take a shit. That's me, bro. Yeah. I'm style strong.
When it comes to WWE, I mean, you will have that sentimental value, but you're right. But doesn't mean I'm gonna be like AEW centric and like just talk like sing his praises and all that kind of stuff. So it's just gonna be straightforward,
bro.
Like listicles and stuff like that. Yeah,
you're gonna heel turn on us in 2022. Is it face turn? Everything Cody does is great. Oh, no, I see where this is going, bro. Yeah, Mr. Young calls it, best booker of 2021 calls it, Foreign to turn heel and side with Cody Rhodes. Let's go.
Later, every single promo or every single review show that we do in the future is all praising AEW, even though it becomes like shit.
Actually, you know what? I actually don't think that they are going to drop the ball. I think if anything, they're going to take the ball and run, and WWE are hopefully going to react in a positive manner and just up their game. So,
but you see, right, bro, this is all part of our master plan, bro. This whole, even the Sports Kidao gig is a master plan, bro.
Okay.
We want to create more content for Kick to the Gut, right? That's the plan for season 5, right? So what better way, bro, than to write articles and then use the ideas from the article and then put the content here on Kick to the Gut, so we'll never run out of conversational topics.
Indeed. Wow, this is pro wrestling. You can never run out of content. So get ready for season 5. There's going to be a whole bunch more stuff coming your way. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. We appreciate each and every one of you. Do us a favor, hit that like if you haven't already, and subscribe. Slide into our DMs at any time. Maybe we are going to set up a Discord real soon so we can talk about wrestling every day of the week with you guys. Shock.
Ooh. Oh, okay. You know, mate, since you're talking about that, like, you know, we got some big plans for season 5. But before we share our plans and divulge more, we'll probably share more next episode, our season finale for season 4. Guys, we have a goal. Guys. We need to get our YouTube channel to 1,000 subscribers. It's a very, very lofty goal, I admit. You know, we are only at 119 subscribers right now. But please, you know, if you enjoy what we do, please tell your friends all about it. Just get them to subscribe, check us out. The likes and subscribes will really, really help, because that will help us, give us the motivation to do more content and to upload more regularly on the channel as well.
There you go. Help us share, help spread the word for pro wrestling, y'all. Okay, we'll be back next week with the Kick to the Gut Awards. You know, there were the Slammies, right? So are the Kick to the Gut Awards the Kikis?
Kikis sounds like a bit like Dickies. I don't know, just sounds wrong. Maybe like the Kicksters. I don't know.
The Kicks. Okay, we'll workshop that like Cody.
Yes.
We'll do it, Cody.
We will.
But you guys, please have a great Monday ahead. Have a great week ahead. Anything you want to plug before we go?
No, man. Other than the Sports Kida, please guys check out the articles and please like it. And of course, 1,000 subscribers. Let's go, YouTube.
Let's go. All right. I'll be streaming later this evening on Twitch as usual, Mr. Young 98. So if you like watching people play video games, come join me. I'm playing the horror game Detention.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm first time going to detention. Okay, I'm a very good student. I never go detention before.
Okay.
The only time.
Old head, bro.
Huh?
Old head for me.
Old head. Wow. So you were always a heel. I was a babyface. Is that what you're saying?
No. Hey, Tobakin say wait. Tobakin say wait. Forer will get future endeavored from KTTG. You know why they're calling you the Mr. McMahon of KTTG, bro?
Me, I'm the Mr. McMahon. Oh, you get. I see what you mean. No, maybe I can be the John Laurinaitis.
You just give me a text.
I want. Okay, so if next week you see me holding a golden egg and then losing the golden egg, then you have to worry. But for now, it's all good, everybody. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you once again for hanging out with us, for talking wrestling. We'll see you next week. It's Mr. Young.
And it's fun in the building. Have a great week ahead.